Yes, this is Waga, and welcome to the channel. We're going to build another app, and this time it's going to be an app that persists data locally. For example, the app is currently on the simulator. If we stop it and restart, that's the test of persistence, of course. So if we stop it and restart it, it'll take a few minutes. We'll find that the same data is shown on the screen. We're using Hive, which is a NoSQL database. Uh, Hive to persist the data, and I'll be going through everything we're doing, everything we're working on, show you the various methods of Hive, how to set up a Hive backend, no, a Hive database and connect it to the app. And for state management, just like the previous app we built, we're going to use Provider. Provider is a state management package of choice. So yeah, so let's give it a few minutes, and after a while, the app is up. So we should see the various data. Yes, so we have Alan, Kim's. I was just trying this out. Jim's, and we could go through the various features, right? We could add an associate. So we hit the add button, and the name we could call him Henry. His age, I didn't put any validators. I just wanted to, the main thing here was to show how to work with Hive. So in the future, when I'm making other apps that require it, I'll have more stringent measures with the validators. So for the phone, for example, we can say 6789. His age, age is also an integer. We could say 87. And I don't like including the keyboard, but if you check the code we actually put in place so that the keyboard pops up, right? But I just disabled it on the simulator. So you could say is senior. I thought of some associates as seniors and others are not senior. I didn't call them juniors. So we could say that this is to show how you use Boolean in what's it called? Switch. This is a switch, and how you use Boolean in Hive. So we could hit yes, he's a senior. The join date, we could put 25th. And the reason that this is colored blue and the rest are colored green is because you'd have to set up a more complex theme data and things like that so that you can change the color of a date speaker. You can't do it directly. You can't just add like a color like you would with text. So it would set it requires a bit more complex, and I felt that this is not a UI. We're not learning how to do UI components. We're learning now how to share data, persist data locally on the phone. So yeah, so this is why this is blue. So we could hit pick a date. I'd say 11th. 11th is nice. Hit OK, and we hit save. And when we hit save, when we look at the where is it, the terminal? No, the logcat. Wait, the run. Yeah, we come to run. We have Henry here, and if we go into Henry, why isn't it? Why can't I see it? Oh, okay. I'm supposed to have a logger which runs. So we have Henry. Yeah. So when you click on the name, like if you click on Allen, you get all these information. His phone number is 6. This is for testing, of course. His age is 66, and he joined on this date, and he is senior. If we want to edit it, we hit the create icon. This is the create icon, and we get all the data persisted. And oh yeah, here it is. So when we hit that, we have logger. We're using logger, so you could see that we get messages on what happens. This is important, particularly. I wanted to work with logger so that in case of errors, so that I can see errors and work with them. It's very useful to follow what is happening in your app, and you should include it. You should include the package, that is. So when we click on Allen, for example, when we click, all the data is persisted here, and we could just edit it. We use set state to do this, and of course the Hive backend database rather. So we could say Alan's. We could make his age 68, and we could make his phone number 669. We could make him a junior, and we could change the date that he joined. The dates usually It said it defaults to today, which is 21st, Saturday the 21st. So we could say that he joined on 19th. We hit OK, and we hit save, and yeah, we go back. He joined on the 19th. His phone is 68. His age is 669, and we should get a message here. Edited Allens. So edited plus the name, which is edited Allens here using logger. We could, if we wanted, delete it. Delete, you get an alert says you're about to delete Allen. This action cannot be undone. We could cancel it, or if we really dislike Allen, we could just tell him bye bye. So we hit that, and Allen is gone. And yeah, that's basically the app. Of course, you see, like when we add a new guy, let's add a new guy. Let's add Allen. Again, his phone number is that. His age is that. He is not senior. His join date is this. We hit OK, hit save, and you see it alternates the gray color. So if this is gray, this is white, this is gray, this is white, like so. We use it on the list view builder. Yeah, so that is basically the app, and that's what you're going to be building. So maybe we could have a quick rundown of the various packages that we're going to use. Actually, I'd included a validator that I later forgot about. When you try to create an associate and add it without a name, it will give you a toast message that will ask you to include the name or make the name longer. For example, if I try to hit save on the add associate screen like this, it's going to say get the name, and if we put like a name of one character and hit save, it will say make it longer. So we could hit FG. The rest of the fields can be included. They can be set automatically. If you don't include anything, they can be set to the various defaults. We have defaults. So for example, we have FG here, and his phone number is 0. So when you click on it, you find that his phone number has been set to 0, his age has been set to 0, the join date has defaulted to today, his senior has been defaulted to junior. And of course, we can change this if we want. We can make him senior again. We can change the join date to the future. We could put the number 09897 like that, and this like so, and hit save. So yeah, so we have defaulted, we have put their defaults that are in place, but the only thing that you have to include a name, and the name has to be at least 2 characters. Yeah, so that is a default, and when you get it wrong, you get a toast message, using Flutter toast, which you can see right here. Now let's continue to the pubspec, the YAML. Welcome back, and let's get down to it. Let's get a quick overview of the various packages we'll use. First, Flutter toast, like I said, that is used when we are trying to create, for example, a message in the middle of the screen when you try to save an entry without a name. Like for example, I'd get the name, or when you put F, it's basically the only check, make it longer, something like that. Yeah. So that's what Flutter toast does. Path provider gives us access to the innards of either iOS system or Android system, the files. Gives us access to the files so that we can save the various. We can have access to the various folders inside iOS and Android. Provider provided the state management solution, allows us to rebuild, to detect changes and rebuild widgets when there have been changes. Hive is the NoSQL database that we'll be using to save information and save data into the phone. Logger is what we saw, allows us to make either error warnings, informational warnings, or any types of or events. When we create an event, it's really good so that you can track errors and find out what's wrong with it. Intel, I'm guessing is for internationalization. We use it particularly. Let me go and click on a guy. If you don't do that, the date will be in Unix format or something. Will be in Unix format. So we need to make it the date human readable. So you could put the date like this is what's it called? This is year, month, date. You could reverse and play around with the dates depending on how you want it done. So that's what Intel does. And of course, Hive generator is used to automatically generate this file based on our model, which will then be used by the app. And build runner is what we use to actually do the generation. So yeah, so that's basically our pubspec.yaml. These are the various packages that we'll use. Not too many, and yeah, that's what we use to build it. Thank you for following me this far. I look forward to seeing you when we start building this app. And as always, before I forget, like and subscribe and share. Thank you. Hi guys, welcome to the channel, and we're going to get our we're going to start building our app. The app is to the right here, and we've just started a basic Flutter application. The usual. I've not made any changes to it. So the first thing we're going to do, I like getting all the packages we require, getting them in pubspec.yaml, and then using them progressively as we go along. So we're going to go to pubspec.yaml, and the first thing we're going to do is, of course, I'm going to use Android Studio, but if you want to use IntelliJ or Visual Studio Code, that is completely up to you. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to pub.dev, and the first package we're going to look for, let's go to pub.dev. The first package we're going to look for is, let's start with the state management solution provider, like so. Provider is a really good state management solution, and you see it gets the big Flutter favorite. It's really easy to use, really easy to plug in, and even in my previous app, if you look at the color matching app, we use Provider. I really like it. So we come here to installing and copy, and then we go back to pub.dev, and as you know, or as you may know, the pubspec.yaml is indentation sensitive, right? If you mess up the indentation, you won't be able to get the packages. So the best way, or how I like doing it, is coming directly underneath Cupertino and putting the packages there, like aligning them with Cupertino. That way you're sure that you've done it correctly. So after that, we come back and we look for the next package is Intel. Intel is short for internationalization. It's used to format dates. For example, if we click on Mike here, you get the date like this. You could change the order. You could make it where the month comes before the day, or the day comes before the month. The Americans like putting the month before the day. Many people around the world like it the other way. So depending on how the various ways you want to format it, you could use it. It's really popular for number formatting and date formatting. So we're going to come to Intel, and we're going to come to installing, and we're going to copy it like so, and we're going to go back and provider, we put it there. After that, we're going to get Flutter Toast. Flutter Toast like this. It's easy. It's very easy to create toast messages, right? It makes it really easy to create toast messages, and I just noticed that this is what 4.0. Change log. I built it with 3.13, and now there's a 4.0. I hope they're not breaking changes, but if they are, I'll figure it out, and we'll downgrade, or we'll figure out how to use the upgrade. But this is a completely different version. They might be breaking changes. Yeah, I built mine with about 3.13, but it looks like it's March 21st. Yesterday it's apparently changed. So let's try working with this one. Hopefully there are no changes, there are no game breaking changes. Flutter tools like this. The next thing we're going to use is path provider. Path provider. We come to here and search for path provider like this. Should have an underscore underneath. It's used to get locations and access files on the file system on the phone, whether it's iOS or Android. Yeah, so it's really it's the standard, I think, for accessing files on. This is a Hive uses the local storage, so this is to access the files depending on whether it's Android or iOS, right? Like so. And after that, the next thing we're going to use is, of course, I just mentioned it, Hive, like so. Hive NoSQL database is really good. Of course, Hive does have a few issues, which I will get into, particularly with the documentation. Some of the documentation is I like pointing to the documentation so that you can see and follow and improve or make changes to a code. So there are a few issues with Hive documentation, but we will get through them. After Hive, we have Logger. Logger allows us to get error messages, like when we do something. Like if you look at the app showcase, you see us using Logger. So we could get Logger like this. It prints. You can even make it different color logs. For some reason, I don't see why. I don't get the point of changing the color. The thing is the message, not the color of the message. Or you're supposed to maybe at a glance know whether it's a warning, it's informational, it's an event, or it's something has failed. But yeah, we're going to use Logger. And do we have everything? We have provider, we got path provider, we got Hive, we got Logger, we got Entel. Yeah, I think we have everything. Yeah, we have everything except we also need the Hive generator. It generates a model file. We'll be working on the model today, so we need the Hive generator, right? Hive generator, like this. Hive generator. It's an extension for Hive. So we copy it like so. Copy, and we go to it. It's usually put in the dev dependencies like this. Yeah. Okay. And after that, what's the next thing? We need a build runner. We need the build runner. This is the last thing we need. It writes the binaries. It works with the binaries. So we come to installing, and we get the build runner like this. Copy, go back to our Android Studio, and we put it underneath like so. And we hit packages.get, and it should take a few seconds, but it should get all the files, and we can start working on the model after that. So let's see. Give it a second. Come on. We're all watching you. Okay, maybe we should close our eyes because it's getting shy. I don't know what's wrong, man. Come on. We're waiting. 24.7 seconds. Finally. So there, we've gotten all packages that we'll be using. We'll be using them progressively as we go along. And now it's time to do a bit of the structure and build the model. First, let's sort out the folder structure, the file structure. We're going to have a package or a folder called model for the models, another one for the pages, and another one for the various widgets we'll use. So we could come here and first thing is new package. The new package, we could call this model, like so. Okay, that's what we're going to be working with today, but let's create the others. Just get it out of the way. After that, we will have the pages like this, and after that we will have the final one we're going to use is a new package called widgets. We're going to use a couple of widgets like the toast, things like that. So like the toast, the list, the associate list, the associate tile that you see, we'll put them as their own widgets. So hit OK, and yeah, so now we have created the folder structure. Let's work on the model, and to do that we'll go back, look at Hive, search for Hive, and go to the documentation, documentation samples like this, and I'll show you a problem with the documentation. Is that, for example, when you let's expand this a bit. When you come down, you find that there are big empty spaces like this, like you would want to on the read, when you click on reading and writing. So if you want to see what exactly is in this space that is meant here that you can't see, for example, if we go to write, is there something in write that is, like you see delete, writing null versus delete. So if you want to actually see it, the easiest way I found is to hit this edit on GitHub like this. You'll get the markdown file. So the markdown file, you'll get to see everything. Like you see, this was what was missing, or it was under delete. So you can see exactly what is missing. For some reason that it doesn't render the markdown files. So if you're looking for something, you wouldn't actually see it. What we would want, I think, is under type adapters like this. Is it under type adapters? Hive and Flutter. What is it? No. Async calls, auto increment. It's actually under Hive object. So when you can store custom objects, everything in Hive is stored in boxes, and we'll be using a Hive object, right? So to see that, you'd go under what's it called, to the markdown file on GitHub, so that you can actually see it. Because if you come back to Hive, you see the example of how the Hive object is used is not visible. So you'd have to come to the markdown file. But let's just get typing. I've already done this, so I've already gone through it. So you can take my word as a gospel. And we'll come here, and the first thing we'll do is click on new, create a dart file in the model. Okay. I thought I did that. Create a new. It's not creating a dart file. I wonder why. Oh, sorry, I hadn't clicked on it. Okay. Let's call it associate. Ideally, you would have picked students, but I started with associate, and I stuck with it. But you could pick student or something else. So we create a file called associate, and we could just create a class, call it associate, like so. The associate is going to have a name of type string, name like this. It's going to have a phone. There's a reason I'm putting spaces in between. He's going to have, it's either going to be a senior associate or not a senior. I didn't call them junior, so you can call it is senior, like this. Sorry. And the date that they join, we could say final of type date time. Of type date time is join date, like this. Then we're going to have the age of type, and we could say age, like this. And then we are going to initialize it. So yeah, so wait for the red button, create constructor. So it creates a constructor, but we want this to be named constructors like this. So we will put curly braces around this, like so. And the name is required. If you can recall, when let me show you on the app. if we are creating a new guy, if we try to save, it says get the name. The name is always required. The rest, like if we say let's call him Max, we could leave the rest. The rest will be initialized to something. So you could have Max with 0 and the rest is initialized. So this name is something that is required. It's identifying. We'll use it to identify. So it's something that is required, like so. Okay. We would need Flutter Foundation, I believe, for this. So let's get Flutter Foundation, like so. So that is the basic. These are the basic things that we'll have: the name, which is here Max, the phone, which is 0, the is senior. This is junior. The switch is put on the not senior. The age, which is 0, and the join date, which is today, right? So we have all the things that are required to create. But now we want to add Hive. Okay, so yeah, so now we're going to use a Hive object to save this information in Hive. When you use a Hive object, it allows you easier management and it gives you access to helper methods like save. We'll use save in. I believe this method will be useful when it comes to updating and deleting. It will help you identify the various objects that you use. So we're going to use Hive method. If you look at the documentation, the primary way that they say that you should save stuff to Hive does not use the Hive object, but we're going to use the Hive object because of the additional the relative ease with which we can work with, right? Okay, so let's get to work. Let me just start my Pomodoro timer. Make sure I am on time. And the first thing to do that first, because when you run the build runner, so that it can run the binaries, we're going to make reference to that file that will be generated, right? So we're going to say, you will see, if you've never done this, you will see that in a bit. So you could say part associate, make sure it's the same name as the file that you're using. So ours will be called part associate.g for generated dot. When we run the binaries, you'll see this. And we also need to import Hive, right? So we should import, we should import Hive like this. So Hive that. Yeah. And at this, so when you want to use Hive, this is all in the documentation. You need to say Hive type, and then give it a type ID of 0. We're only going to have one type here. You could use multiple, and there's an example in the documentation that shows you how to use multiple relationships. Just look for contacts if you go there. You will see it. So, and then we'll give each of these fields a number. So we can say at Hive field, a number starting with 0, and then we could just copy this like this, copy, and then come here and put Hive field 1 and Hive field 2, yes, like so, and enter tab, command V, Hive field 3 like this, and the final is Hive field 4 like so. And now we have to run the build runners so that we can create the auto-generate file. This one, associate.g.dart. So now we go to the terminal. We go to the terminal here and we run Flutter packages pub run build runner build, like this, and it will take a couple of seconds, and it will create it will auto generate the file with all the methods and everything. Yeah, it's taking its sweet time, right? Yeah, it started, and in the meantime we could look at the Flutter Hive object. See, when you store custom objects in Hive, you can extend Hive object to manage your objects easily. Hive objects provide the keys of your object and useful helper methods like save and delete. So this is exactly what we're going to use when we are editing and we're deleting data. It's very, very useful. So what do they do? So you create the class and then extend the Hive objects and create the fields like that, and yeah. So yeah, we're going to do that. So let's go back to our app, and took 21.1 seconds with 7 outputs, and yeah, so it has, I think, done its job. I can't see the file. Oh, here it is. Associate g.dart. So you see, that's where you're supposed to make sure that the part here is the same name as the file associate. So we come to associate.g.dart, and here we have all the information that are going to be used. Field, the string, the various binaries, basically. So this video has already taken long enough. Today we have set up the folder structure. We have gotten the pub spec.yaml, and we have created the model, and we have generated all the. We have created the generated code, the type adapter generator. So we have done everything we set out to do today, and thank you. And I will see you next time with another video on the same app. Thank you. And of course, don't forget, like and subscribe. Have a good day. Welcome to the channel. Today, what we're going to be concerned with in particular is the CRUD of Hive. That is create, read, update, and delete. And we're going to create a file, create a bunch of methods that have all the functionality for that, for Hive, and gets to it. And first, like I said, we're going to work with logger. So we're going to create all the methods of logger. I believe you can have debug warnings, informations, errors, and even a WTF or something. If you want to learn more about logger, of course you go to pub.dev, like so. Go to logger, like so. Hit logger and go to, let me just close this, go to the documentation, and okay, wait, you can just come here and check out the various console outputs. There's verbose, there's debug, there's info, there's warning.error, and what a terrible failure log. So those are the various methods in logger, and we are going to create some warnings which you can use during the CRUD process to give us information about how the process is going along. Let's go on with it and create a file with all these messages from logger. So we'll go back to our project, right click and create a file. We can call it utils.dat, like so, and then there we can import logger, like so, and then we can create a class. We can call it log, like this. Static variable, I mean, final logger equals logger. They have something called a pretty printer. It's a pretty name for a printer. So we hit pretty printer, and colors we set to true so that the different warnings have different colors. So we set that to true like this, and we create the various messages. The first one is D for debug. We pass in the message, and here we return logger.d, and the message was passed along like this. The next one, you can copy this, is E message. That's for error. The next one is I message. That is for info, like when you create a guy. And the final one is for W, which is warning. And we hit W like so. So these are the various messages we'll have. They just receive a message from whatever error it is and return it in the logger with the different color, so that we can, that's why we say the colors to true. So that's what we've done here, and that's all we need to do in the utils, like so. So now we come back to our lib folder, and now we create the file that will contain all the CRUD methods. We right click and we can call it associate data. So we call it associate data like this, and we hit enter. Now we need a quick rundown of how Hive works. In Hive, you store data in things called boxes, right? So if we come, let's search for Hive. You store data in boxes, and before you use a box, you have to open it. And because data can only be read from an open box, and when you open a box, all the data becomes available. So if you're building a really big project with this, you might want to open and close different boxes at different times. We're not going to particularly close our box, although it is recommended because it's a very small app. Now, if you're dealing with a lot of data, you could use lazy box, which does not load all the data. But in our case, whenever we open, we're going to be loading all the data. Of course, if you want to find out more information about this, as usual, store objects, you see a class where var box await hive.open box with the name of the actual box. So that's how you can get it. And if you want information and examples, you can go to the documentation and samples. And of course, at the documentation and samples, some pages require you to actually hit edit on GitHub. So yeah, that's where you can find more information and help, and I always encourage you to look at the documentation so that you can move forward. So we're going to use change notifier because change notifier works well with provider for starters, and it also, what change notifier does is that it listens for changes. You can read more about it in the Flutter documentation. It's a part of Flutter. So we're going to create a class. We can call it associate data, which usually extends change notifier, or you use it as a mixin. You could use it as extend or mixin. Change notifier. Change notifier provider is from provider package, but we're using change notifier like this, and we're going to have the name of the box. So it's going to be a static variable. We can say static const ring and underscore, call it box name, and the box name here will be we could call it associate box like this. Yeah, and then we're going to have a list of associates. And we have just I clicked on that, it's been imported, We can have a underscore associate. As you know, that makes it private. Associate, having trouble spelling it, and going to have an empty list like so, and then we're going to have an active associate. This is useful in selecting, like when you click on this, it knows who you've clicked on, like so. We have clicked on Mike, or we have clicked on Sam. So we're going to have a type of associate called active associate, active underscore active associate, like this, right? And we are going to have the first method. The first method is going to get all the associates, right, as a list. So the method returns nothing. It's called get associate, and it's an async method, and var box. We first have to, if you remember, open the box. So we would await it because it's async await. We would have hive dot open box, and the box here is associate, and we're going to pass in the box name, which is our associate box here. This is all in the documentation, like this. So we're going to import Hive, and my preferred method is using this. Yeah, so it's imported like that, and then after that we're going to put them in the list of associates, this one, like so. I'm going to do it a number of times, so you're going to get it really. Box dot values dot to list, like this. And then when you call that method, we want to notify listeners so that they can rebuild. Notify listeners like this. Okay, so the second method is that's get associate, get a particular associate. So we could have associate, type associate. We could say get associate, and this one will take in the index of the particular associate, and we are going to return associate with the index, right, like so. So yeah, this is underscore like this, get associate. Yeah, get associate, we're getting all of them, right? And here we're only getting one. So this is supposed to be get associate, and this is supposed to be get associates, like so. And the third method is when we want to add an associate, like this is the CRUD part. So we could say void add associate, and this one will take an associate, right? An associate of type associate, and it's going to be async. And the first thing we're going to do is we have to open the box. Before we do any of this method, we have to open the box. Okay, if I can just copy it correctly. So we're going to copy it, put it down like so. We have to open the box, and then we await the box dot add, and we put in the associate like this, and then after that we put them in the list. Actually, it's the same thing, so we can just copy this to lines. We can copy it like this, yeah, like so, like putting spaces between them. And yeah, so here we get the associate of type associate, and we use the add method. You could use the put method. The put method requires a key value pair, so And when you use add, it auto increments, so it's a bit better. So yeah, that's I think the third method, add associate. Is adding the delete method. So we could say here void delete associate. It takes in a key which is provided by the Hive object. Like this is an async method, and we could copy this first two lines like this. Actually, we could copy this first three lines, so we could do this. Yeah, we just hit here, come here, hit copy and paste, and instead of the associate, we're going to pass in the key which it will be used to identify. And yeah, and then of course we could also copy notify listeners. We want to add in the let's add in the we also want to add in the log method. So we could say log dot I, we say deleted member with key, and we concatenate key dot to string like this. Yeah, so log has been imported like so, and that is the delete method like that. Is the edit associate. So edit associate method. So we write void edit associate like this. This one takes in two parameters, the associate of type associate. So we could say associate like this, of associate like this, and the key of type integer, associate key like this, and it's async, it's an asynchronous method like this. And yeah, and first line, as is almost always the case, is we are going to get this, open the box, we copy this, we come down, put it here, then we would await the box dot put method, which takes in the key value pair, and the key here is going to be the associate key, and the value is going to be the associate like this. And after that, we are going to get this line like this, copy this, put it there, and then we are going to set the active associate. The active associate is going to equal box dot, we're going to read it from the associate key, box dot get the key is the associate key like so. This will allow us to set the active associate from what we have passed in, and of course we're going to log it. So we're going to put log.I, and we're going to tell ourselves in the terminal who we just edited, and we're going to concatenate the associate name. So associate name like so, and finally we are going to notify our listeners like that. So basically that's the edit associate. So let me explain this a bit. The put method takes in a key value pair. So in this case, the key is the associate key, right? And the value that we're putting into that key is the associate, right? It's basically like basically a map. Forgetting the equivalent in JavaScript. In Swift, it's a dictionary. In Python, also is a dictionary. In JavaScript, what are they called? Aside from arrays, okay, it doesn't jump to the top of my mind, but basically that's what we're doing here. And a get is used to read. So here we read the active associate using the associate key that was passed in the put that we passed in here when we are editing the associate, right? So I think that is pretty much straightforward. So the next method we're going to have is set active associate. So for that, it's just going to be void set active associate like this, and we pass in a key. It's an async method, and we're just going to get the box. Let's copy this line. Let's copy this line like this, right? Come here, copy this line, and then the underscore active associate is going to be box dot get. That is, we're reading whatever is provided by the key, whatever we read the value from there. So, and then of course, as is required, we notify the listeners. And next we get we have a method, we can call it get active associate. So it's going to be of type associate. We could say get active associate like this, and this is going to be simple. It's just going to return the active associate like so. Is going to help us get the number of associates, useful when we are creating. We'll use it in a list builder. So we could hit in, it returns a number, so get, so that can know how many tiles to set up, associate count, and this will return underscore associate dot length. So I think dot length, yeah, like this. So I think we have covered everything that all the methods. Yeah, we have gotten all the methods. We have the various loggers to tell us. We notify listeners. We use change notifier as an extension. You could use it as a mixin. And that is basically what we set out to do today. And thank you for listening to me. And see you in the next video. This is Waga, and welcome back to the channel. What we're going to do today is build up the various widgets that we will use in the app. The three of them. The first one is the toast widget. The toast widget is, we use Flutter to create it, and it's what gives us the error message when we try to create, for example, an entry without a name. Let me just show it on the screen. So for example, if we try to hit save, it will say something like get the name or something, whatever error message we give the toast. Or you could also say, if you create a name with one character, it will also give you another toast. It'll say make it longer. So that's what we're going to do today, and also the other widgets. So first things first is we are going to go to the widgets folder, right click it, and create new dart file. It's going to be called toast.dart. So we just hit toast, hit enter, and yeah, we go there. So on toast.dart, we're going to obviously use Flutter toast, which we imported, which we put on the PubSpec with YAML, and we are going to say import Flutter toast like this. Yeah, and then we are going to have the method void toast. It's going to take whatever message we put on it. So it's going to take the message. You can check the documentation to see how Flutter toast is used. And we are going to say Flutter toast like this dot show toast, and the message is going to be MSG like the one we passed in, MSG. The toast length is going to be toast length dot long. You could say long or short, or even center. The gravity, where we want to put it, we would say gravity is toast gravity.center. We could put it at the center, at the bottom, but we'll put it at the center. And the time it will last on the screen, we could say time in sec for iOS, like this. iOS, I guess it's changed. Yeah, I'm guessing it's changed. We could hit, we could say 3 seconds, like this. So that is going to be the toast. I remember when I was setting it up, when I was building this about a week ago, Flutter toast was at 3.13, but now it's at where, at 4.0. So I'm guessing that has been one of the changes. We will have a look at the documentation and see whether it will work in the same way or it will work differently. The documentation a bit. There have been a few changes that were made, and what we could do is we could make the toast colored. We could say the background color and say colors red, like this. And I'm guessing to do that we need the Flutter material dot, yeah, so we can use the color. And then the text color, we could say the text color is colors dot white, like this. And the font size is 16.0, like so. So yeah, so those are some of the issues when you use a package that is not actually provided in the Flutter SDK. It could change. There could be changes, so you might have to go back and forth and look at documentation to see if there are game-breaking changes and things like that. And yeah, so I think this toast message it actually appears as a sort of red toast. I think it's this one. We're going to use something that looks like this, but we're going to put it in the middle, right? So that is, we will see towards the end. That is what is going to happen with the toast. Now for the next widget. First we do a bit of cleanup. We remove that comma and we come to the widgets folder, right click and create a new .dat file called associate list. We can call it associate list and hit enter. And I just spotted something. I call this folder associate instead of associate, but it doesn't affect it much. So if you caught it on your side and corrected it, good on you. So first we create a stateless widget. So we type STLESS. I wish if you would type this for the first time, they would just also import the Flutter material dot, but it doesn't do that. Hit tab and type associate list, like this, and then of course import what we need to import. We'll use provider here, so we will import Flutter material dot, and what we will return is we'll return a list view builder, right? We will come here and type list view dot builder, like this, and in it item builder is going to take the item builder is going to take the context and the index, right? And it is going to return an associate tile. It's going to return an associate tile. That's what we're going to build next, actually. So we would get an error here. Associate tile. We'll call it associate tile, and it will take a tile index, like this tile index, which is going to be index. like this, and put, of course, a comma. It's doing this because we haven't built it, and put a semicolon. This is that after all. And here we're going to put in place an item count. The item count is going to come from provider. We created this. I think it's one of the last methods we created in the last video. So we're going to say provider.of and pass in the associate data, and pass in the context, and we're going to say dot associate count, like this, and we are going to import this. Now the provider just takes a value and exposes it. You normally hook it up at one of the higher levels, and we'll do that in coming videos. And I'll talk about provider more when we're doing it there, because we'll use it a lot more. So this is basically the provider, the associate list, and it will be displaying the various styles. And if you can remember, if you go back to associate data, or associate in our case, associate count, this is what we're exposing, right? And so we come back to, yeah, you see associate count like this. And we could also add a bit of padding, make things, how am I typing passing? Padding, we could say edge inserts dot ltrb. From the left we put 8.0. From the top we can have 6.0. From the right we can have 8.0, and from the bottom we can put 4.0, like this. So yeah, so we have basically done the associate list, and now we are moving on to the associate tile. Off camera, I corrected the spelling of associate here, and here on list and associate data. So if you're following along, you could correct, or you could leave them as they are, and it's just nice to clean up the few niggles that are there. So what we're going to do next is create the associate tile file, and we come here, right click on widgets. It's not, wait, sorry. New dot file, we call it associate tile. That's the new dot file. We call it associate tile, like this. And this is going to be a stateless widget, right? So first things we're going to do is type STLESS, like this, hit tab. That's going to be the autocomplete, associate tile, like so. And after that we are going to import the Flutter material dart, as usual, Flutter material dart, like this, and put in the semicolon, like this. So, and now we're going to build the associate tile, the associate tile. It's going to create a final variable for the associate tile, and so that we can pass into one of the associate data methods, and we're going to call it tile index, final int tile index, like this. And yeah, and we're going to right click so that we can create the constructor. It can be created automatically, so save us a bit of time. We can delete the super part, like this, put in semicolon there. So that has been sorted, and after that we're going to use the consumer. Now the difference between consumer and producer.of, if you want to see it a bit in more detail explained, I will try and give the Cliff Notes version here, but you can look at my previous color matching app where I go into a bit more detail on how consumer works and how associate consumer works and how provider.of. Consumer rebuilds every time there's a change in data. Provider.org doesn't. So it just watches and monitors the changes in the model or whatever you're watching. And yeah, so consumer basically just calls the provider.org in a new widget, and it also delegates the build implementation to a builder. Best seen, it's best seen, not explained. So let's get on with it. We are going to return here consumer, and we're going to hook it up to the associate data. Associate data. That's where we're going to hook it up to. After that, we're going to do that, and of course consumer comes from the provider, so we need to import that. And for the builder, takes in 3 arguments, that is context, associate data. We won't use all of them, but I like to put them, instead of using underscores, let's just put them all so that you can see them, because in future you might be building something that uses all of them. So we're going to create a current associate to keep track, and it's going to be of type associate. So we could say associate current associate, and we're going to get associate, and it takes in the tile index like this, and we can let's import the model so that it strongly typed language. Remember, this is the dot. So if we come here, get associate, where is it? Command F. Let's just look for it. Get associate like this. Yeah, get associate. Yeah, this one. You pass in the index, right, so you can get the specific associate. So that's what we're doing right now. Let's go back, and yeah, we're passing in the tile index. The tile index is of type integer, like that. So after that, we are going to return now the UI portion. It's going to rebuild every time there is a change, and it is going to be a container like this, and the container is going to have a decoration. Now this decoration is what is used to create this patch, this gray white gray white. So depending on the tile index, if it's tile 1 it gets gray, if it's tile 2 it gets white, like that. We could say color is tile index, and we check the modulus like this, and if there is no remainder, it's going to be colors dot gray, or whichever color. If you're more colorifically gifted than I am, you can pick some other color. We could say colors dot white, like so. You will see all these changes towards the end, because there's still a lot of hooking up. We have not even hooked up the provider to like the top of our app. So basically this is the finished article from another. I built the app, then I ran it, but now I'm rebuilding it. So this is not from this, right? So we will see this all towards the end. We'll hit the run button, but for now this is what we have to make do with. And yeah, actually this is meant to be in the container here. It's meant to be box decoration, so we should say decoration like this, and say box decoration like this, and put it here like so. Let's remove this comma like this, and yeah, so this is supposed to be inside the box decoration, and afterwards we can put the child. Wait, where's the box? That's the box. So outside the box we could say child like this, and the child is going to be a list style, so it's going to be a list tile, and the leading is going to be, we're going to have this circle avatar, the circle avatar, the circle avatar here. In case you hadn't noticed, right? Why? What the hell, man? Like so, yeah. In case you hadn't noticed that the first letter, when you create someone, the first letter of the name becomes what we see in the avatar. For example, let's call somebody, let's create a new file. Let's call it, call him, or let's create a girl. What's a girl's name? I could say Anne. So let's say Anne. Anne's number is that. Her age is that. Is she a senior? Yes. When did she join? She joined on the 10th. Hit OK. And we hit save. You will find that you will see that Anne's circle avatar has the letter A. Max has M. FG has F. Kim has K. Alice has A, Sam has S and M. So that's what is going to be in the circle avatar. And how we get that to work is, first we're going to put the background color. In case you hadn't noticed, on the app as I was building, the various shades of green that I used, like this green is not the same as the one on the circle avatar, is probably the same as the floating action button, and this one is a bit more lime greenish. So I think we should all streamline them, make them all sort of like the same type of green, right? So we're going to have the light green accent going forward. We're just going to use one shade of green, right? So on the circle avatar, we're going to put the background color. The background color is colors dot light green accent, like this, and the child is going to be text, and the text is going to be current associate dot name dot substring, and the substring, it's going to start at the first character, and it's only going to take that character. So like this, right? That's how you get them. If we wanted two, we would put maybe two. If you put two, it will have MI, or in case of an AN. So depending on what you want, if you want the first character, I think that Google thing, I saw it in Google where they only have the first character. I think it's pretty cool. So that's where the idea for that came in, right? And after that, we can put in the style, right? The style, basic style, it's just going to be text style. Oh god, text style, like so. And we are going to put in the color as colors dot white, and the font size is going to be 16.0, like so. And we could make it bold. Let's make it bold. Font weight is going to be font weight dot bold, like so. Yeah. Okay. Now next, let's work on the text. The text here will be Mike's is the text, and the subtitle is going to be the number that you put in. So for example, if we were to add a name, let's call it do you have a James? Wait, let me just check. Do you have a James? We don't have a James. So let's add a James. Let's say James. The phone is going to be that 89. The age is going to be 45. He's a junior. The date is 11th, like so. So we're going to see hit save, of course. James, the phone is what is the subtitle. So let's deal with all that right about now. So we come outside the circle avatar, and we have a title like this, and it's going to have a text, and we're going to have the current associate. It's going to check if it's there, and dot name, and if it's not there, we're going to put an empty string like this. You can check if you go to Dart, just check Dart operators, so that you can explain the two question marks. We could hit Dart programming operators and just control Command F and search for two question marks. Like yeah, so you get, if expression 1 is non-null, returns its value, otherwise evaluates and returns the value of expression 2. So for example, if expression 1 is non-null, return its value, otherwise evaluate and return the value of expression 2. So yeah, so that's what it does. It checks if current associate dot name is non-null. If it is null, it returns the value. If not, it returns the, what's it called, the empty string. And after that, the style, we're just going to basically use the same text style. So we could copy this here. We could copy this. Just come here, copy the style like so. So we could hit copy and the text, hit that. Designing stuff isn't my forte. So after that, we're going to go under this and we're going to go to the subtitle and the text, right? And it's going to be, oh, why is it colors the white? It shouldn't be colors dot white. It's just the font size. So let's get rid of the color. Like so. So the text is here. The text is going to be current associate dot the phone phone dot, the phone is not it's an integer, remember, string. If you check our model, let's just go to our model and confirm associate dot data, and the phone is an integer. So what are we building? We're building this, yeah, we're here. And yeah, otherwise put an empty string like this. The style, we're just going to copy this style here. So we hit copy and we can drop it in here. Hit command save. And after that, we're going to have an on-tap method. You notice if we hit on-tap, we go to the associate view page, right? So for that, we would just put an on. Where are you supposed to put it? We're supposed to put it outside the text, right? On the list style. So we could just come here and say on tap like this and pass in this method. And we would say provider. We're using provider.of because we do not want it rebuilt. I explained that a bit earlier. Associate data like this, and this is all in the documentation, of course. Listen folds dot set active associate, which takes in the dynamic key, and the dynamic key is going to be current associate dot key like this, right? So there's a reason we're getting this current associate dot key. We're being told the key isn't defined for the class associate, and the way we could go around this so that we can get the key, the auto generated by Hive. I actually, when we were building the Hive the Hive model, we should have extended on associate should have extended the Hive object. This gives us access to various methods, like I'd said, and we forgot to do this, so we should say Hive object like this and come back to this, and you see the error goes away. Current associate.key. So that's how you solve for that particular issue. What this method does is that it just takes in the key and allows you to get more information about that specific associate. We put it in the associate data. We can have a look at it. Associate data. We could go to Command F current. What? What's the name? Let me just check. Current associate. Okay. Set active associate. Sorry. So Command F set active associate, and you see it takes in a key here, and it uses a key to know which associate in particular you're talking about. So let's go back to our tile, right? And after that, we're going to just use a basic navigation method. We're going to say navigator dot push. We're going to push to a page we have not created. We'll create the pages next, and we're going to pass in the context. Just going to use a material page route, and the builder is going to be the context, and it is going to return the page in question is going to be associate view like this. We'll create it next like this, so we get this squiggly line and the error message because we have not created that page. So after this, we will in the next video we'll create the associate view. So yeah, we have done what we set out to do today. We built out the various widgets. We built out the toast. The toast usually appears when we are creating a new associate, and you try to save or put a name that isn't long enough. That's the toast rather, not taste. And the associate tile is the individual tiles that we see here, right? And the associate list is the combined list. And yeah, those are the various widgets we're going to use. Thank you for following me through this video. This video has been a bit longer than the others, I'm guessing, but we have gotten to the point we set out to get, and we have achieved our goal. Thank you, and as always, like and subscribe, and have a good day. Swagger, and welcome to the channel. First things first, before we do anything, I saw an error that I made in the previous video, and I want to fix it. And where is it? I believe we hadn't imported the associate tile. Yeah, so that's just as easy as doing this. And so that's fixed. The other error on associate tile is because, well, we haven't created the page. We haven't created the associate view page, and we won't be creating it today. We'll be creating it in another video. What we want to do today is start working with pages, the various pages. And the first page you're going to do is the what page? We're going to do the associate list page. Yeah, I'm just glancing at my other screen so that I can make sure everything is going on swimmingly. Yeah, so we're going to work with the associate list page like so. Made a few corrections there. And so what we're going to do is come to the pages folder, right click and create new, hit the .dat file and create associate list. We could call it associate. Let me spell it the correct way this time. Associate list, like so. Hit enter, and it's going to be a stateless widget, so you do that and you say associate list page like so. And as always, you import the prerequisites. That will be Flutter material dot like this. And yeah, so we have the associate list page. This is the page that is going to contain all this. We're going to hook it up with what's it called, with the associate data, particularly the get associate method, so you can get all the associate and list them. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay, first things first, let's hook up this to the provider. So we come here and we say provider.of, because we don't want it to, we want to hook in to the associate data, but we do not want it to refresh every time there's a change. So we would say, or rather, there are other mechanisms in place to do that. Associate data, like this, pass in the context, and set listen to false. We're not listening for the changes, that is, and you're going to say get, let's import this first so that we can get all the import provider, and for this import associate data, like this. So we're going to come here and we're going to get the method we're looking for, which is get associates, all of them, get associates, like this, plural. So yeah, so we've hooked that up, and you have to put it under the build context, so it has access to the context. And what we're going to return is what you see on your screen. To the right is the scaffold, and the scaffold is going to have an up bar like this. The background color, we agreed we're going to go with lime green throughout now. Background color is going to be colors dot light, was it light green or light green accent? Let me just check what we did. You put it in the tile, or I wanted a bit of uniformity. So wait, cause the gray, the white. Where did light green accent? So we decided to go with the light green accent. So yeah, so the background color of the up bar is going to be light green accent. Gonna give it a bit of elevation. You can see, if you look here in between, you'd see some space. That's what the elevation is. We're going to give a bit of elevation, make it 16.0, and the title is going to be text, right? And you're free to mess with the UI. I'm just going to say, to use what I built, rather. Let me not use the royal we. Text style is the font weight is going to be font weight.bold, like this, and font size is going to be a 16.0, like this. And after that, we're going to, under the up bar, we're going to put in place the body, like so. We're going to say center, like this, and we're going to have a child of column, like this, right? And main axis alignment is going to be, we're going to center everything, main axis alignment dot center, like this. And we're going to give it children, like this, and the children are going to be, we're going to use an expanded widget, so we're going to say expanded, like this, and the child is going to be a container, which is going to have another child, which is an associate list. So we're going to have build the superstructure and then put the associate list, which contains the tiles inside. So like so, and we are going to hit import package, like this. So there, and the last thing is, if you look to the right, is the floating action button. So we go to where there's the center end. The center end is here, and we have the floating action button, which is going to be floating action button, like this. The background color is going to be colors dot light green accent. We're going to give it a tooltip. Yeah, you see this is the tooltip. So we're going to say here add, as you can see in the finished product. We're going to have a child here. The child is going to be an icon. We're going to have an icon, and the icon is going to be icons dot add, like this. You're going to see the plus to the right, like this. And on pressed, right, on pressed, the method is going to navigate us. You can see here when you click on pressed, you are navigated to add and associate. So we're going to navigate to a page we have not yet created. We're going to have named routes. Navigator, the push named. We're going to pass in the context, and the route name, the route name is going to be the / add associate page, like this. So yeah, so that is basically the associate list page. Yeah, so that's basically it. Okay, now finally let's get rid of this niggling. Let's just create a superstructure of this page, because this page requires a bit of time on its own, and we can create it in the next video. So let's just create this to get rid of this error, and then we can call it a day, or rather call it a video. What we do is we come to the pages, we right click, and we create a new Dart file. We are going to call it associate view, like this. Hit enter, and this is going to be a stateless widget, and this is going to be associate view, like this. And we're going to import the prerequisites, the various prerequisites, which is Flutter material dot. I usually, as you may have noticed, just like using it and then right clicking and importing it then. So I won't import all the things here, but the associate view page is where when you click the various, like, let me just show you. Like when we click this is the associate view page. So you see the phone number, the age, the join date, whether he is senior or junior, and senior is marked by the thumb of the switch changes color to blue. And I believe when he's junior, let's edit it, and it turns to white. So depending on white doesn't blend well with the background. We could change it. We could make it blue and black. So yeah, so that is it. And if we go back, oh, we didn't save. You have to hit save. So we do this and we hit save. So from the associate view, you can edit and you can also delete. Like we get this method when you hit the trash can or rubbish bin, you get this alert dialog, which asks you whether you want to delete, and you can cancel like that, or you can delete. So that is the associate view. And we could come here, and it's on the tile, right? On the tile. So when you click, this is what, when you click the tile, it goes to the associate view. Let's right click here and import the package, and we're error free for now. So that is basically the video. We have done everything we have we set out to do, and we have corrected. We have created a page and we have corrected a few errors. Let me put a few commas here so that it's better structured, like this. Use that format when you give commas like that, so it can show the structure of the code a bit better. So yeah, that's the video. Thank you for watching. As always, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. And welcome to the channel. We are now going to begin our work on the associate view, and the first thing we're going to do here, I think, is we are going to build the delete confirmation. Now let's wait for it to set up. I don't know why it takes longer. When you set up VS Code and you try to build a Flutter project, to run a Flutter project for the first time, it usually takes a very long time on VS Code. Faster if you do it on Android Studio, but I don't know. I've just noticed that it's really long. So let's first let's get back to work and let's build the delete confirmation. This one is going to show an alert as soon as it decides to come back. I'll show you exactly what the delete is. So it returns nothing, so we say void underscore delete confirmation, like this. It takes in the current associate who we are going to delete, like this, current associate, and it's a show dialog, and the context is context, like this, and the builder is, we're going to have build context like this, and it's going to return an alert dialog. It's going to return an alert dialog. The background color is going to be colors.white. The title is going to be a text. The title is going to be text, and the first on text you normally can add the text as the first parameter without naming it. The first named parameter is usually a text, and the style is going to be text style, and the color is going to be colors dot black. Let's say black, like so. And yeah, and the content is going to be, we're going to put in a single child scroll view, like this, and the child is going to be a list body, like this, and this is going to have children, and the children is going to have, we're going to have a text as a child text, and the text is just going to be a warning about what you're about to do. You are about to delete, and then we're going to interpolate. We're going to say current associate dot name, like so, and yeah, and we're going to put in a sized box to give it a bit of space. It's going to have a height of about 10.0, like so, and after that we're going to tell the user that this action cannot be undone. Or rather, after you do this, you're on your own, kiddo. And yeah, after that we're going to back to the dialog, and we're going to have actions. Action is going to be widgets. The first one is going to be a flat button. The flat button is going to have the delete and cancel. The child is going to be a text. First parameter is going to be delete. We want it in all caps like this. The style is going to be text style, and we're going to have color, and we're going to make it an ominous red, colors.red, like this, and the font weight is going to be font weight dot bold, like this. And on pressed, we're going to use logger to tell to put on the terminal what exactly is happening, right? And yeah, come here to data analysis, and what we could say is here log dot d. We're going to say deleting, and do a bit of string interpolation. It's going to be current associate dot name, so that you can tell the person exactly what they're doing. And of course we need to import this. We could hit import. It's in the utils folder, so you see here D. So let's go back. Where is it? It's in view. So after that we are going to use the provider, hook it up with the provider so that we can actually do the deleting. Provider dot of pass in the associate data, like so, and have context, set listen to false, like this, and then dot delete. We have not imported it. Let's import so that we can get, it'll save us a few potential errors. Okay, associate data. Okay, like so. So we just type D, delete associate, and the delete associate takes the key, and the key is going to be current associate dot key. We get it from the Hive object, like so. And then after that we are going to also navigator. We're going to pop navigator.pop until, and it's going to take the context, and the predicate is going to be the model route or route, if you're depending on which side of the pond you learned your English from. Model route dot with the name. We're going to set up the names there in towards the end, right? Name, and we're going to have the navigator dot default route name. So we're going to go to the default route name, like so, and we are going to put a semicolon there. Oh, sorry, it's supposed to be model route, not model route. Sorry, must be getting a bit tired. And yeah, we need another flat button for cancel, right? So we come here, hit a comma, yeah, like so, and we need another flat button. The flat button has cancel. Flat button, this one is going to be a bit easier. Of course, it's going to have a child of text, like this. I'm suppressing a cough. I mean, in this environment, a cough can be the most worrying thing you can hear. So we would say text style, like this, and it's going to be colors dot blue, and text style is going to be, oh, we're supposed to say color. wait, color, like so, and then capitalize this colors.blue, and the font weight is going to be font weight dot bold, like this. And the on pressed, the on, wait, where it's supposed to be, so under here, on pressed is going to be we're just going to log.d and say canceling, like so. Yeah, and then after that we say navigator dot of, pass in the context, and we pop it like so. So that is the method, like so. Yeah, so that's basically the method done. The method, it's the delete, deals with the delete, handles the delete, the confirmation on whether you want to delete, and then afterwards delete. I think we did color wrong here. We're supposed to do color like this. Yeah, so that's basically it. The app has agreed to work, so let's get down to it, and let me show you what we just built. We built the delete confirmation. So let's take Sam here and try to delete him, and we get this confirmation: you are about to delete Sam. You see the, where is it, current associate.name, right? So you are about to delete Sam. This action cannot be undone, which is under here. You're about to delete current associate.name. So we could choose to delete him, or we could cancel. In this case, we'll cancel and go back. So that is basically what we've just built. On the finished article, it's exactly the same. What we're going to do next is we're going to hook up a consumer, because the consumer will register any changes every time there's a change in the model or whatever we're looking at. The consumer will rebuild the widgets, right? Will trigger rebuild, and so that is what we are going to build. So let's go to navigator, and where do we put this? This is supposed to be, and that about here, right? We could return the a consumer, and we hook it up to the associate data, like this, and it's supposed to be outside, and we put in a builder, and the builder will take in the context, the associate data. Third parameter is a child, and after, what's wrong? Oh, it's a child, and we could put that at the end, and no, it's not supposed to be square brackets. It's supposed to be angled like that. No, it's supposed to be parentheses. Not parentheses, brackets. Yes, they're called brackets. And associate. So we're going to create a variable here. We're going to call it current associate, and in it we're going to put the get active associate from the associate data. So it's going to be of type associate, of course. So associate, we're going to have the current associate, so that we can know who it is has been clicked upon, right? Current associate, when we are deleting, equals associate data dot get active get active associate right here. It doesn't take any arguments like so. So associate, this is going to be from the model. So we import the model and it should be a bit finer. A bit fine rather, not a bit finer. And we return here the scaffold like this, and the scaffold we're going to have the app bar, and the app bar is going to be of type app bar like this, and background color is going to be basically what we did in the previous video, which is going to be colors dot light green accent. That's what we agreed upon. We're going to give it some elevation just like the other one, which is going to be about 16.0 like so, and the title is going to be text like so, and we're going to check whether there is a current associate, the name. It should be there ideally, but let's just put in the check, because if you try to enter an associate without a name, it won't allow. It won't allow. So you have to have a name, right? And the name is 2 characters or more, right? So text style is going to be font size. We're going to have a font size of 16 like so, and a font weight dot bold like this, and yeah, and we are going to have actions. The actions are basically, oh god, wait, that bar, right? Actions. The actions are going to be this two, you see, the create, this pen thing, and this trash can. So we're going to have actions of, they're both icon buttons, right? Icon button like this, and the icon button is going to be icons dot create, and we're going to give it a bit of size. The size is going to be, the icon size is going to be 24.0. The color, we're going to make it colors dot blue like this. The tooltip is going to be edit, and it's supposed to be colors. I confused the color here and the colors. Okay, fine. So after that, we're going to put the onPressed method is going to be, what we're going to do here, first we're going to log it. We're going to say log.d, and then we're going to launch the edit page, which we will make in a future video. We're going to say selected to edit. Yeah, selected to edit, and we're going to push navigator dot push, and I'm going to pass in the context, and we're going to have a material page route, and the builder is going to be taking a context. It's going to take in a context, and it's going to return the associate edits page, which we have not built, and we're going to pass in the current associate as current associate like so. Yeah, like so. And yeah, like this. So let's put a few commas here, make sure everything. The associate edit page, it has not yet been built, and we will do that in a bit. Let's just hurry along and clear the icon button also. So we come here and put a comma, and we put in the other icon button like this, and the icon is going to be icon icons dot, you type so many damn icons. I mean, I wish it could be easier, particularly with that. We say 24.0, and color is going to be colors dot red, and colors dot red, and the tooltip, of course, is going to say delete like this, and the on pressed is going to log it, and we're going to say log.d is, and we're going to say selected for deletion like this, and then we are going to call a method we have not yet built called delete confirmation, and we're going to, oh yeah, we've actually built it, current associate here, delete confirmation. Yeah, so we're going to call the delete confirmation right here. So yeah, that's basically it. So to get rid of this error, let's create a page called associate edit view. So we come here, we right click, and we create a new .dat file called associate edit like this, and hit enter, and this is going to be a stateful widget because we need to carry over the data, like the number. You see, like when you hit edit, you get the number and the details. So what we're going to say here is associate edit page like this, and of course we're going to import the required, and we are going to create a current associate, the one whose data will carry along. So associate, and we will call him current associate like this, and yeah, and after that we're going to create, oh, we need to create the constructor. So we could make this required, so we could get rid of this and say at required like this, and get rid of this super key like this. So yeah, and we'll fix this. Let's import the model with the associate. We'll build this in another video, but I just wanted to take care of that quickly. So we come back here and we import associate edit, and the error goes away. So there, we have solved that small error. We come back here, let's put a comma here, get rid of that, and we now create the body. We could say body, put in a bit of padding like so, and we could say padding is going to be edge inserts dot all, and put a 16.0 like this, and we're going to give it a child. A child is going to be center, and it itself is going to have a child called column. In JavaScript, there's callback hell. Here we have children hell, of just endless children nested upon children. But anyway, Flutter compared to the alternative, Flutter is really, really good. So let me not complain too much. Height is going to be 36.0 like that, and the color is going to be the gray color. Is going to be colors dot gray. We're going to make it a light gray. Let's make it a light gray so that the black can appear a bit better. And we're going to have a row. Wait, what? I can't see. So the container is going to, yeah, and the column, and then the container is going to hide, and then it's going to have a child. Yeah, sorry, I should put a child here. The child is going to be a row like this. So the main axis alignment is going to be main axis alignment dot space around, and children is going to be the text. We're going to have the text, and the text is going to say phone like it does here, and the style is going to be text style like this, and it's going to be color is going to be colors dot black, and sorry, oh god, it keeps getting in the way, and the font weight is going to be font weight dot bold, and yeah, it's going to be font weight dot bold, and the size is going to be font size is going to be 16.0 like this, and after that we're going to have inside the row the actual phone number. So for that we're going to go with a text widget. The text widget is going to, the text is going to be the current associate. Going to check if it's there. Dot phone and dot to string, because you see it's giving us that because it's saying that the current of is a number. If you go to the model, let's go to the model and check that. You find that the phone number is integer. So for that we have to convert it to a string like so, and for the style, I think we can just borrow the style from here. Where is it? Text style. Let's just copy the text style. Copy the text style like this. Yeah. Copy and put it there. Smack there. So yeah, wait. Let's give ourselves a bit more real estate to work with. And yeah, so basically, so let's go under container, and we're now going to work with the age. So we could just copy this container. Let's just copy this container, copy it like so, come here, and we can do the same because a lot of it is going to be the same, and except the color, it's going to be white. See, the age is white and this is black. So we could say that colors dot, could say white, give it a white, one type of white. We could say white 54. The children is row. The main axis space around. The children is widget. The children are widgets. The text is going to be, of course, age, and yeah, it's going to be exactly the same as that. And this is going to be current associate dot age, right, like so. And remember that if we go to the model, the age is also where is it? The age is also an integer right here. So yeah, so this is going to be current, yeah, basically like that. And yeah, so at the end of it, where does the container end? Here. We are going to do the same for join date, right? So we could just paste it again, come down here, paste it, and this is going to be join space date like this. And we are going to format the date. We're going to say how you do it. You just come here and say sorry, not feed, date format like this, and it's going to take we're going to say y dash dash dd. We import this from Intel, the internationalization package, and we are going to say dot format, and we are going to pass in the current associate dot join date like this. So that's how we do the date. And then finally we have to have a switch for the boolean, I believe. So we come to the end of this container, put a comma, and we paste basically the same thing. So here we could say senior, like senior, we could say senior like that. And instead of a text, this is the one, the clear path where we are changing from the others, is we're going to return a switch like this. And the active active track color is going to be colors dot black like this. The value is going to be current associate dot is senior like this, and unchanged is going to take a and like so. It's going to take a value, and we could just do this. And yeah, and so that is basically it. That's basically the app. We have put in place everything. So yeah, that was it. We've built out the page. We have built out the various containers, senior. Let's see, let's just go over it quickly. Join date, age, and phone. Yeah, so this is basically it. We've put in the various method, the delete confirmation method, and yeah, this is it. This is the app done. Thank you for following me. I know this is a long video, longer than usual, but I think now we have done most of the work. It's just I think 2 more pages to build, and then hooking it up to the main. We have not done anything in the main.dart. I think we need to hook up provider and initiate Hive here, and we'll do that in coming videos. But we've done the bulk of the work here. Thank you as always. Like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Channel, this is Waga Odongo, and today what we're going to do is continue with the app, and we're going to work on the edit page, the associate edit page in this example. So what the associate edit page is when we, for example, click on a name. Let's click on Sam. We come to this create icon. We find this is the edit page. This is what we're going to work on. And as you can see, when you hit on edit, all these details are carried forward. Like you see, the name is Sam. This is the number 98 junior. We could change all these details. We could say Sam's. We could put here 4. We could have 989. We could make him a junior, and we could change the date to that, like this. So all this is possible. And then hit save, and it will be carried forward. You see, the name is Sam's, and the details are all changed. So that's what we're going to work on. So let's get to work. And first things first is we're going to come to, let's give ourselves a bit more real estate because we'll be working primarily on this page. And we could create a few variables. We could first have string, call it new name, like so. And an integer, new phone, like this. A boolean, new senior, and another integer, new age. I think there's one more required, and this one is going to be the date time when he joined. We're going to say date time, new join date, like this. So we have created the various variables we are going to be using. Next, we're going to create the method. The method is going to do the editing, right? We're going to call the method edit associate, right? We're going to call it edit associate. And it's going to take the context, and here's where we're going to put the validation. This validation, for example, like if you can't delete a name completely. You couldn't come here and say something like delete this like this and hit save. It'll say get a longer name. It says get a longer name, right? So we would say here, let's say Sam's, and hit save, like so. And yeah, I don't know why the numbers, the number has disappeared for some reason. Go 7, oh sorry, 586, like this. Hit save. Okay, the phone number is like that. Okay, fine. So we're going to put a simple check here so that we don't enter a value that doesn't have a name. So we would say if new name is null, right, like so, we are going to say we're going to return the toast widget, toast widget that we created, the toast widget, like this, and it takes a message. We could say here give entry a name, like this, right? And after that we're going to return. I think we need to import this, and as always my preferred method of importation is doing that. And after that, if the new name dot length is less than 2, remember when you're creating, it has to have more than 2 syllables. It has to more than 2 characters long. 2 characters, yeah, not syllables. Toast, we could say toast widget. What's toast widget? I'm waiting for the completion, which is not coming. Maybe the recording, the running the emulator, and typing. We're putting this computer on a lot of strain. We could say here get a longer name, or put whatever message you want. Some customize this to your feel. And here we return like so. So those are the 2 that we're going to have. After that, we're going to expose the edit associate that we created on the associate data. If we go back to associate data here, you'll find that we had an edit associate, which is right here. So this edit associate takes an associate and an integer for associate key. So that's what we're going to use. Okay, so we go back to, where is it? Where is the associate? Let's close the toast. Let's close the widget. Let's go back to the edit associate like this. So first we have provider. We expose it with the provider dot of but because we don't want it to rebuild every time, associate data like this, and pass in the context. The listen is set to false like this. Dot edit. The reason it's not providing the completion is because we have not imported some things. If we import, we should get it, so that we don't make typing errors. Edit associate like this, and this is going to take the associate. You could pass in the associate, and it's going to be of type associate like this, and the name is going to be new name like this. The age is going to be new age, and remember the age is not required. If we don't pass in the new age, it is just going to be automatically set to 0 like this. The phone is going to be, oh God, I hate this, it's blocking me. New phone, and if we don't pass in the new phone is going to be set to 00, or you could just put a single 0 like so. That's why it changes. The what's it? Is senior is set. That's why it changed to 0, because when you change the name, all bets are off, and it essentially resets everything. So the is senior is new senior like this, and senior defaults to, because it's a boolean, it's a boolean, it defaults to false, right? We assume that somebody who we don't put a seniority is not senior, is not considered senior. Let's put a comma here, and the join date is either the new join date if it is not provided. I talked about this two operators, these two question marks, in a previous video, datetime.now, like this. So if we don't put in the datetime, it's assumed that he joined today, or whenever today is, that is. And for the associate key, remember the edit, if we go back, the edit, where is the edit? The associate data, it takes in two variables, the associate key and the associate, right? We have created the associate, now it's time for the associate key. The associate key is going to be widget. We're going to reach up dot current associate dot key. That is, we're reaching out here to the current associate. So we reach up, we reach up to the stateful widget, and we get that. That's where we get the widget to current associate dot key. And after that, we are going to pop it off. Navigator dot pop, and of course pass in the context like this. So that is done. Now we are going to create we're going to create three. Let me just show it. We're going to create this three, what are they called? This three editing field, text editing fields, right? We're going to use text editing controllers, right, for this three, and then here we'll use the switch, and here will be a date time. So first we will have the first will be final. Let's give ourselves a bit more real estate. Let's say text editing controller like this, and we're going to call it name controller like so, and this is going to be of type text editing controller like this. And I think we can copy this. Wait, sorry, pressed something else. We could copy this like so, copy, and paste it 3 times. The next one is going to be a phone controller like this, And finally, this is going to be an age controller. So we have three: name controller, phone controller, and age controller. And of course, we are going to have, under the override, we're going to have a void init state. That this will basically pass in the current values into our new form, right? So we will have a void init state, void init state, which will do that. And here we're going to have what we're going to pass into the name. Oh, sorry, the name controller dot text is going to be, we're going to reach up to the current widget and the current associate dot their name. So that's how we pass in the name. For the new name, we are going to have widget dot current associate dot name, like so. So you're going to do this for basically all the others. Of course, we might have to make a few changes for the phone controller, right? Yeah, for the phone controller, we're going to do the same, but we have to change it to string, right? Because it's an integer. And for the age controller, basically do the same. So for the phone controller, like so, we are going to dot text is going to be equal to widget dot current associate dot age dot to string, like this. So we pass that in, and then we do the rest. Okay, we do it for the rest, and we say new phone rather. New phone is going to be, we're going to reach up into widget dot current associate dot phone, like so. And after that, we are going to, what next? Age. The age controller is going to be equal dot text, of course. The text is going to be equal to widget dot current associate dot dot age dot to string, to include it in, to put it into the form field. That is the form. And after that, we're going to say age equals, we're just going to reach up to widget dot current associate dot age, like so. New age rather, not age. New age. Yes, like so. Okay, and then new senior is going to be, we're going to reach down to widget dot current associate dot is senior. We're just going to check the seniority because it doesn't have a text field, so that's why we don't have to write that. And the new join date is going to be widget dot current associate dot join date, like so. So yeah, so we're going to have, that's how you make sure that the data is persisted. It checks up on the last value and puts it into the form field, right? And of course, as always, we are supposed to add super dot init state so that it kicks in before the rest of the app loads. And after that, we are going to return a scaffold. Now just the basic UI elements, scaffold, like this. The scaffold is going to have an up bar of type up bar, like this. the background color is going to be colors dot, was it light green or light green accent? I keep forgetting. I think it was light green accent. We'll change if it looks different. Elevation is going to be 16.0. The title is going to be of type text like this, and we're going to say edit $ widget dot current associate dot name, like so. And let's add some style here. Some style. It's going to be text. It's some text style like so, and this is going to have font size is going to be 16.0 like this, and the font weight is going to be font weight .bold like this. Put a comma here. I'm supposed to put a comma. Yeah, so that is it. And for the actions, we can say actions and put in the widget. The two widgets, that is the pen and the trash can or rubbish bin. It's a save, yeah, okay. Oh yeah, we're just dealing with the, we're just going to deal with the save. Yeah, it only has one icon actually. So yeah, I was just checking, conferring with my notes. So we could say icon button like this is going to be an icon and have icons dot save like this. The icon size is going to be 24.0 like so, and the color is going to be colors dot blue, and the tooltip is going to be save like so. And on pressed, we're just going to run the method that we just built up right now. So on pressed, we are going to run sorry, I put in two semicolons. We're going to say edit associate, and we're going to pass in the context like so. Oh no, I'm supposed to put this outside. So there. What next? Go down here and set up the body. The body like this. The body is going to be made of a center widget like so. We're going to have a child of padding like this. We are going to put the padding as edge. Inserts all, pass in 16.0, and the child of the padding is going to be a column like so, and in the column we are going to have the main axis alignment to be set to the start. Main axis alignment at start. The children, let's close this for a bit. The children are going to be, we could have a text field. We could have a text field. We could say the autofocus, we could set it to true. The controller for this one is going to be the underscore name controller. We're going to add some decoration, which is going to be input decoration like this, and the hint text is going to be name like so, and on changed, we are going to take the value passed in, we could say v, and after that we could use set state like so, and the new name is going to be set to be equal to v, like so. So we have dealt with the first one like that, the first one. Let's put a comma here so we can get the dat formatter working for us. Okay, yeah, we have dealt with the first one. So after that, let's put in a sized box, something sized box. We could say the height is 10.0, like so. And after that, we're going to have a text field, another text field. We could, I think we could just copy this, right? So we just come here. Let's delete this. Let's just, because a lot of it is the same. So let's just copy this. Copy, insert, and we could say this is the name controller. This is the phone controller. We could say phone controller like so. The hint is going to be phone new, no, this is going to be new phone, and of course we need to turn this is a string, we need to turn it into an integer. So we could wrap it, we could use int.parse, we could say int.parse like this, and that will convert it into a number, and we can set it as a new phone. So after that, we will put in place another sized box, give it a bit of space. We could copy that, come down here, put it like this, repeat the process, copy this for the third. I'm guessing you could like just create one widget that you will pass in maybe the type of controller, but the set state is what would be different, the set state and the type of controller, but we're not going to do that. Let's just finish this. We could call this is going to be the age controller. You could turn it into a reusable widget that you would use in all three, but let's just finish it. And we could I think we could also add the keyboard type, right? I mean, what's the harm in that? We could say here, we could come here and say keyboard type. Keyboard type would be text input type dot, we could say dot phone, like this. Okay, and for this one we could command Z, we could say keyboard type, we could say text input type dot number with options, and then pass in decimal. We set decimal as false, like so. And what, this is phone, so that's name, phone, this should be age, right? So we could say here, this is the age, capital, let's just capitalize it, age, and new age, this is going to be the new age, like so. And yeah, and after that we're going to have this is going to be a row, that is senior. So we could come at the text field and we could say row like this, and we could put the children, It's going to be a text with the words is senior, and we're going to have some style, which is going to be text style like this, and we're going to have the font weight is going to be font weight .bold like so, and font size is our usual 16.0, and after that we're going to put a switch. Wait, it's going to be outside this, right? So we put a comma here. Let's also put a comma here and put a switch, the switch that we're using here, and the active track color is going to be colors dot black. The active color is going to be colors dot blue. The on change is actually going to work here, unlike the view page. The on change here actually works because view just shows what value is in the switch. Here we can actually toggle it, like we could toggle it here and put senior, junior, yeah, like so. So the on change is going to be v, and then we're going to have the search state. This is going to be new senior is equal to v. We're going to put v as a new senior, and yeah, like so. And have we put the value? I don't think we put the value, right? So it's a search state, and the value is going to use new senior, and if not included, set it to false, like so. Right, and after that we're going to put in another row. We could say row like this, and the children, and we could just copy this text. Let's copy this text, copy the text, come here, do this, and say join date like this, and we're going to have an icon button, the one that you see next to join date, the icon button, and the icon button is going to have an icon of calendar today, icons dot calendar today like this. That's the icon. The tooltip is going to be tap to open the date picker like so, and on pressed we're going to put in an async. We could say final date time, and this is going to be await. It's just going to be a date picker, so we could say show date picker like so, and the context is going to be context like so. The initial date is going to be today, so you could say date time dot now, and yeah, it's supposed to be like this. The first date, now this is it's free. You could put date time. Let's go back to date time 2016. We could say that the last date is going to be the next century, so we're going to say date time pass in 2100 like this, and then after that we say if a date is selected, that is if this D is not equal, does not equal null, like this, that is if the user has selected a date, we could say set state new join date equals D, like so, and we put that like that. Okay, so that's basically it. I think our page is more or less done. I see I'm getting an error. Where is this supposed to be? Daytime.now. Oh, this is not supposed to be here. It's supposed to be maybe a comma like this. So that's basically our page done. We have done everything that is required, and yeah, we've built out the edit page, and now I think the only page left is the add associate page, and then after that we are more or less we hook up everything together in the main.dart, hook up the provider, and then it's done. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. If you like the video, give a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Hi guys, let's get on with it, and today we're going to create the add associate page. Yeah, that's what we're going to do, and we're going to borrow a lot of code from the associate edit, so this video is not going to be as long as that one, because we have put in place almost everything we need, right? And for that, let's right click and create the add associate page. So we say add associate, like so, and this is going to be a stateless widget, so we come stateful, and we can call this add associate page, like so. And of course we need to import Flutter material dart, like this. So that's the bare bones. The add associate page, if you can't remember, looks like this. We hit that, we get the text field control, the field for the name, for the phone, for the age, the is senior, the join date, and the save icon. And it's a lot like the edit. If we hit the edit, you can see this, right? It's very similar, highly similar. So yeah, so we're going to borrow a lot of the code, and yeah, we're going to reuse a lot of the code. It's going to save us a bit of time. So let's get to it. The first thing we're going to do is let's just go to the add associate edit page, and we can copy a number of, let's give ourselves more real estate. We can copy these, and we go to add associate, and we come down here, and we create the variables, except these variables are not going to have new, so we could just get rid of this. We're going to say name, like so. We're going to make this phone like this. We're going to make this senior like this. We're going to make this age like this. We're going to make this join, we could call it joined. Let's just call it joined. We're going to call it joined here. We'll call it joined like this. So that is the basic thing we're going to do. After that, we're going to create the method that adds the associate, right? So no, it's not going to be a command Z. It's going to be exact just before the widget, and we come back to edit. It looks a lot like this, so we could just copy it. Actually, we copy it, we hit copy, we come to add associate like this, and yeah, we need to make a few changes. So this is going to be if name is equal to we could say toast widget give entry a name, and for that we import it like so, and we change this to name, and we import provider, import associate data first, then we import provider like so, and what we want actually is we are going to delete the associate. Oh yeah, we could actually leave the associate. Let's leave the associate. The method we want is this one, add associate. Let me just find it. Add associate. Add associate just takes one parameter, which is the associate, right? So what we could do is get rid of the second parameter like this. We just rid ourselves of this. Command S, give ourselves a bit more real estate, and just return. We could just return the associate like so, and the associate name is going to be name like this. Wait, what's the add? Sorry, this is edit. We should change this first. We should say add associate like so, and after that, oh, okay, we are supposed to, I think we're supposed to have another, we're missing a comma like so. Yes, so yes, we are missing a comma. So what's wrong with this? Oh, let's import the model. Yeah, so yeah, so we have done all that. We need after that an age. An age is initialized to either that or 0. A phone is initialized, if there is no phone given, we make it a 0. Is senior, we could say is senior or set to false, and this should be joined, if I can recall. Joined, wait, what's it? Yeah, it's joined. So, and then of course navigator.pop context like so, and then after that we have the scaffold. We could borrow a bit of it from, we could borrow the scaffold from this. So where does the scaffold end? Ooh. Yeah, we have the scaffold, and then we'll borrow the, we can't borrow the whole scaffold, or should we? Because I'm thinking, give me a second. Text. Yeah, basically we could just copy the entire scaffold. I don't see why we would. And then just make the changes. So let's just copy the scaffold like this, come to add associate, and we return the scaffold. That would be the prudent thing to do. Recycle, save code. So we would have a plethora of changes, and first things first is the title text is going to be the title is just going to be edit. Let's see, the title is going to be edit associate, right? Add associate. The title is just going to be, instead of this edit associate name, we could just say add associate like this. Add associate. The style is exactly the same. The action widget is going to be icons.save. The icon.save is basically the same. We could make this capitalize. We could capitalize this here, and come to edit here. Wait. Just save. Let's also make this a capital S here. and we save that, and we come back to add associate, and after that we are going to have on pressed, we're going to add the, instead of the edit associate, wait, what do we call it? We call this edit. We should call this add here. So we say add associate, and then on pressed we could say add associate here and pass in the context. Basically, if you watch the previous video, you can see exactly. I go into a lot more detail. Here is just dotting the I's and crossing the T's. It's basically, a lot of it is the same. So on the body, we have the center, that's going to be the same. The control, do we really need a controller? I don't think so. We don't need a controller here. We don't need controllers here. A world free of controllers. Okay, so we could have the hint text is name, and here we could set the name to v, because it's not the new name, it's the name set to v. Okay, we put in a size box. We do not need a controller, like I said. Wait, like so, and we hit, and that's going to be phone, and this is going to be phone like this, right? And we do not need a controller here, like this, and the age is going to be age, and that's going to be int pass.v. Yes, and after that we do not need a we could say senior here, senior equals v, right? Yeah, because it's the row is senior, basically the same. Senior here will be false, yes, and join date tab to, and here is supposed to be joined. We said joined, like so. Yeah, and we have no errors. So basically, I think we have done this video. So what we did is, we don't need a text editing controller because we just need a text field, right? So we don't need to pass anything into it. We add, let me just start at the beginning and go over it. We create a method to add the associate, which hooks into our associate data, and add associate takes just one parameter, the associate. So we add the model, and we add in the name, the age. The age is initialized to 0, the phone, the senior, joined, and of course we pop the context so that we can go back. And after that we put in add associate, the icon button, which is save, and when we hit save we add the associate plus the context, right? And we add the associate plus the context. Wait, have we put any? Yeah, more or less. And what else is there? Yeah, and these are the error methods. Of course, you have to put in a name and make it longer. And I think we have everything. The text field, we convert phone, because this is a string, we convert it into a number so that you can save it. We do the same for age. This is a boolean, so it's fine. So basically that's the add associate page. Once you make the edit page, you don't really need to do much with the add associate page. So now I think all that is left is for us to hook up the everything to what's it called, to Hive, and see if it works. Cross your fingers. Anyway, it'll all be fine. I think that's the only thing that is left, and we can put this series of video to rest and go on to the next one. Thank you and have a good day. As always, like and subscribe, and have a see you in the next one. So now the next thing to do is to hook up the entire hook up the main to both the provider and to Hive. So we come to the main, the actual main.dart, and we could start off by cleaning it out. And after that, the first thing we do is import, of course, Flutter material dart, and after that we create the main method. We could say void main, and here is where we register the Hive adapter, and here is where we would register the Hive adapter. We could say hive dot register adapter and pass in the associate adapter, like so, and yeah, like this, and we put in that, and then when we run the app, we want to run the associate. I've not made it yet. Associate app, like this. The associate app will basically be our entry point, and it's going to be a stateless widget. So we could say stateless, like this, and say associate app, like this. And let's import Hive. And how come we're not getting that? Okay, we could just import it. We could say import and say hive.dart, like so. And after that, and this is supposed to be run app, not run app, like this. And of course you're supposed to put in that, like so. So that's how you register, and you can see this adapter when you come to the generated file. It's called associate adapter. So this is what we're talking about. All right, so let's go to main.dart, and it's all in the documentation. If you look at the documentation, you can go over exactly how you register and you do all these things. So yeah, the next thing we need to do is initiate Hive. And if you want to have a look at that, you could come to the Hive docs, and you could look for initiate Hive, and where we could read and write. No, what about quick start? I think it's in the quick start. And hive.init, use hive.init. And first we need access to our directory and the phone. So we're going to create a method which is going to return a future. We could say future, call it underscore init hive, like so. It's going to be async, remember, because we're waiting for it to reach into our phone and get access to the local files. So we're going to say var there equals await, and we're going to use the get application directory, and like so. And of course we're going to have to import the path provider. Remember, we set up in pubspec.yaml, we used the path provider, so that's what we're using to get access to the files in our phone. And after that, we are going to call hive.init, pass in the path to our directory, like so. And after that, we need to hook this up to change notifier provider at the top of the widget tree, because this is the entry point of our app, so that we have access to provider, the provider package. You're supposed to put it high up in your widget tree. So yeah, and this comes from the provider package. I've not imported it, automatically imported itself, and we use the create, take the context. We want this rebuilt every no, we don't want it rebuilt every time. So I would say just say take the context and use the associate data like this, right? And I think we need to, oh no, we actually, it's supposed to be in the context. Do we have associate data? I think we need to import associate data like so, and of course it needs a child. It needs a child, and the child is going to be the material app like so. And the material app, we're going to remove that annoying banner thing first, debug term, and we're going to set it false, the one that's on the corner. And the title of the app is going to be we'll come back here and see. The title of the app is going to be associates, right? And this needs to be a string. We could, let's just set it like this. And yeah, and theme, we could just pass in a theme. The theme, this was what I was doing when I was creating it. That's why the colors come off a bit like a Tower of Babel with a lot of different shades of green. Colors dot light green accent, like so. So let's just make it official like that. And after that, we want an initial route. Let's create an initial route or route, depending on what side of the pond you learned English from, and then create the other routes like so. And yeah, and after that we are going to have that, and we're going to pass in the context, and it's going to return a future builder like so. Oh, sorry. And the future is going to colon init hive like this, and the builder is going to take in the context and a snapshot, context and a snapshot. You can check out the documentation for all this, and we could say if snapshot dot connection state is done equals connection state dot done, we could have if, just go through everything. If snapshot dot error is not equal to null, we can print, ideally we would log, but let's just print the snapshot dot error like so. And then we would return a scaffold with a center. Have I gotten the center correct? Yes. And the child is going to give us the error message. We're going to say text. We could say error establish connection to Hive. So this will tell us if there's an error, and and after that we're going to have an else. We're going to return the associate return, the associate list page, like this. And of course we need to import that. I think it's been imported, and I think this is supposed to be in the scaffold, like so. So we cut that, we come here and we put it here. Oh, where is it supposed to be? Else, come to the center. We can delete this here and put this closing brace here. So we have else, and else is going to be return. Yeah, it's going to be else return, and then put another one, and then say else return scaffold, like this. First things first, I noticed we haven't put for the scaffold there, like so, and we put a comma, get rid of that, and after that we have the associate list page, and else we return the scaffold, and we return the scaffold, then that, and then we delete this, and under the future builder we add another route. We could call this for forward add associate page, and of course we add in the context, and this one takes us to the add associate. It's called the add associate page. Okay, add associate page, like so. Supposed to put a comma here, like so. So yeah, that's basically it, and I think we have everything that is required to do. So what is required now is to hit the run button, the moment of truth. Let's hit run, and it's going to take a bit of time, and yeah, so basically we have done everything that is required. We have built the various pages, the add associate page, where you can add an associate, the edit associate page, the associate list, the associate view. Before that we built the model, then we generated types from the type adapter from it using build, and we created widgets we could use. That's the list, the tile, and the toast, and we created the various CRUD methods in get associate, add associate, delete associate, edit associate, set active associate, get active associate, and associate.count. And so we put everything together finally. Oh, we also had utils. These are the logger messages, the D, the E, the I, and the W. Hopefully we want to get any of those. And of course we put it all together. We used provider as a change notifier provider. So put it high up in the widget tree. Then we put at the top of the widget tree, then material app was a child. and we set light green as the accent, and yeah, it seems like everything is working. So let's have a quick run through our methods. So first, let's create someone called Maxwell. His phone is going to be 890. His age is going to be 78. He's going to be a senior. He's going to have joined today, and we hit save and we should see Maxwell. His phone is 890. So yeah, the add works. Let us delete. Let's hit delete. We hit delete and oh, it doesn't disappear. We must have made some mistakes somewhere. So let's look for it and deleting Maxwell so the logger works. Unhandled exception type int is not a subtype of type associate, so associate data. So let's go there. Oh, okay. What we have here is await box.add. This should be delete like this, and then we pass in the key. So let's do that. Let's try that again. Let's hit delete and Maxwell disappears. And let's return him. Maxwell is 234. That is a senior. Pick this date. Hit OK. Hit save. We delete works. Let's look at edit. So Maxwell, let's call him Maxwell's. Let's put a 7 here. Let's put a 6 here. Let's hit that. Okay, wait. Notice the phone. There's something on the edit page that we need to fix. So let me just have a look at it and we fix the edit page. Because if you see the numbers, if we hit save, the phone doesn't change. So I'm guessing we messed up a bit in the edit page. Let me just have a look. So I found the error. The error is that when we come to the phone controller, we reach out to the widget.currentAge.age when it should be .phone. I think we made a mistake when we were copying the various texts. So let's hit save and the phone should change to 3456. So when we hit, I think we may need to, should we reload? Yes. Let's go back, do this, edit 23456 like this, hit save, and yeah, now the phone controller works. What other things? Let's check our validation. So let's try and create someone and hit save, and we get give entry a new name. You see we have that red toast. I think it flashes too quickly, so I think we should consider making it a bit longer. Where was it? It was in the widgets. So we come here and okay, 2 seconds is enough. Yeah, so just give entry. So we create one letter, get a longer name. So yeah, so let's write FG, and we get FG. Everything else is initialized. He's a junior, the date is today, the age is 0, and the phone is 0. So basically our app is done. Every single method works. Hallelujah. And yeah, and we have no error messages except maybe on test, but everything else works. So thank you for following me through this series, and we have now a complete app. You can play with it, you can mess around with it, you can add new features, you can ask questions in the comments, and I will see you in the next app. Have a good day.